Hello and welcome to Chez Guevarra video number 7, where we are going to be talking about the present value of the free cash flows, or to use a different term, different lingo, we are going to discount the future cash flows. So for a moment, let's think about why we're going to do this. We have completed here a forecast of the future free cash flows. At this point in time, we are at the beginning of 2018 as far as our case study and our forecast is concerned. So this 1.9 million is going to be earned over the year of 2018. Not all at the end of the year and not all at the beginning. It's spread over the duration of the year. What that means is there are some free cash flows that are going to be earned at the end of the year. And between now and the end of the year, a certain time is going to pass. And what happens with the passing of time is the value of our money becomes worth less. And if we forecast 5 years into the future, this 4.2 million that we're going to earn in 5 years' time is going to be worth even less than what 4.2 million is worth in today's money. And there are two primary drivers that's causing the money to be worth less. The first one, the obvious one, and the one that people know the most about, is simply the fact that there is inflation. And inflation is this hidden tax, if you want, that means your money becomes worth less, which actually means it has less buying power because the value of, or the price of goods go up, and therefore your money doesn't buy as much as it used to. So that money in the future is going to be less because of inflation. But there's something else we need to take into account. We need to take into account the riskiness of this project. So we're going to be investing money into new capital cafes, new capital fit outs, where we're spending nearly millions of rands in order to fit these out, in exchange for future cash flows that will come from selling coffee. Now there is inherent risk in that. This is a small business. Its requirement is, well, it requires customers to come in. It seems as though these customers are students and the like in the areas where we set up. So there's risk, and we need to quantify the riskiness of this business. So I don't want this video to be all about riskiness, but I just want to recognize that the discount rate, or the weighted average cost of capital, as it's referred to often, or the hurdle rate, to use more language that goes with the subject, is the quantification of both the time value of money through inflation and the riskiness of the project. So it turns out that we are using a discount rate of 25% to represent the riskiness of the project. And that is a very good number to use for a small medium enterprise in a South African environment. We could have a conversation as to why it's not 20% and why it's 25%. And what is that number for a large listed company where hopefully the risk is less? That's something that it takes place in a classroom environment, and we can get into that nuance. But for now, we are going to discount these future cash flows. So we need a present value formula, and there it is. So the present value is the future value divided by 1 plus WACC, or discount rate, to the power of the number of years it is into the future. So let's put that into a formula and see how it works. Let's get our formula up here. F2 will give us a formula, and you will see that this is taking D134, which is the cell right above where we are. That is the future value. That is the money or the cash flow that's going to be earned during 2018. We're going to divide it by, dividing will make it smaller, by 1 plus the discount rate. The discount rate is 25%, and we are going to make this to the power of 0.5. you might be tempted to put a 1 in there because this is 1 year. Let me tell you why you don't put a 1 in there. And the reason for my triangle down here is this triangle base represents 1 year. If this 1.9 million was all earned on the very last day of the year, then you could use a full year as your discount rate, because it's from the last day of the year to the first day of the year that we'll be discounting. But in actual fact, this 1.9 million in cash flows have been earned over the course of the year. So some of it was earned way back here in the early days of January, and some of it in the late days of December. So the way that we best account for the discounting of these cash flows is to cut our triangle in half and actually discount them over half a year. What that means is when we do the calculation in the next year, you'll see we are using 1.5, and in the year after we are using 2.5, 3.5 and 4.5. The terminal value is also discounted. Of course, that's representing cash flow in the future, and this terminal value is discounted over 4.5 years. So notice that it's not 5.5. It's not as if these are earned a year later. We've calculated them based on 2022 into the future, but we discount them from the year 5 of our forecast, and hence we use 4.5. So what you will see is that these numbers are all less than the free cash flows. Okay, these free cash flows are all negative until they turn positive in 2022, and you can see here the effect of the discount. 4.2 million is becoming 1.5 million, and here in the terminal value 19.6 million is becoming 7.2 million. What I'm doing next is I am doing a sum of the present values. There those are. And I am also including here the present value of the terminal value. And then what that allows me to do is to add these two up. And you'll see I have now what's referred to as an enterprise value, which is effectively just the sum of all these present values. So if you look down here in my bottom right hand corner, I've got a quick sum calculation, 5.5 million. That's the same as that. That is the present value of the free cash flows over the next 5 years, including the present value of the terminal value. And that is called the enterprise value. And we will end this video here. In the next video, we will do the final calculations in order to conclude the valuation calculation for Chez Guevarra. See you in the next video.